I will review these offset hooks, which are budget but of a very high quality. And the hooks themselves, they are produced or sold by a company called B&U, and this company sells those hooks on AliExpress. Therefore, they are quite budget options, and in this case I have size 1/0, and you will get 12 hooks in the bag regardless of the size. Again, packaging is very basic and simple. Okay, I will talk about the hook itself for a bit, but later I will compare these budget options to probably one of the best hooks on the market. That's a Decoy. So expensive Japanese hooks, and believe or not, these budget options do compare very well, and in my opinion beats in many aspects those expensive Japanese offerings. Anyway, as you can see, these hooks are of a medium gape. For example, here if I would take that Decoy hook of a similar size, that's a wide hook, and this one is medium gape. And I will come to the lure choices for these hooks in a sec, but let's inspect the hook itself for a bit. As you can see, it has kinda brownish dull finish, so it's not reflective as much. Then it has a medium size eye, which is closed very nicely. Again, it's not super small, but it's not large eye as well, so plenty of application there. Then you will notice that distance between the eye and first bend is a little bit bigger, a couple millimeters bigger or longer, and this means that this hook will support loose a little bit better, as in lure will have kinda more meat to stick onto the wire of the hook. That's very nice touch. Then these hooks are very nicely forged. So forge starts around here and it goes all around until the hook's point. And these hooks are barbed, as you can see as well. Micro barbed, I would say. The size of the barb is definitely nice and quality. And then when it comes to the sharpness, they are super sharp hooks. In my opinion, these hooks are sharper. I don't know if you can pick it up, but they do dig into my nails quite well. So I would say that these hooks are sharper than those Decoy hooks. Definitely, this Decoy hook digs less into my nail. And also you will notice that these hooks are of a very thin wire. Okay, now I talked about the main characteristics of these hooks, and now I want to cover the lures which you should consider use with these hooks. Basically, as it's a medium or narrower gape hook, you want to be using worm type lures, not something like shad. For example, if you would see now, if I would put this hook in to this lure, you would see that kinda hook does not have much purchase once it goes out. Actually, I can put it on without talking too much. So as you can see, when the fish would grab the lure, the hook would slide out, and really not a lot of space in here between the lure and the hook. So kinda it would increase chances of losing odd fish. But the shape of these hooks is very good still. You can use medium shads as well, but still I would advise to use worms. For example, see, now I will grab much longer worm, but it's slimmer and it will be sitting on this hook just perfectly. So as you can see, now I have plenty of room for the lure to slide down once the fish would grab the lure. So I would have more room to hook the fish pretty much, because the lure is slimmer and it can slide down more. So yeah, this is the idea, me talking about lure choices for these hooks. Okay, now let's compare these budget hooks to those expensive ones, decoys. So when it comes to the decoys, I have size 1. So if I would compare like 1 to 1, they are of a similar size, even though those B and U are rated as they say, as 1/0. So one size up. But see, when I compare like 1 to 1, yes, that BU is a little bit longer, but not by much. So in my opinion, comparison is adequate here. So, and what we can see, obviously shapes are a little bit different. As I say, this BU one is wide gape. But let's compare the thickness, right, of these two hooks. So I will begin by measuring. I'll make sure that my caliber is at 0. So yeah, and I will make sure that I am measuring around here where hook is not forged yet, so the wire is round, not flattened. So around 92, right? Yeah. So now let's go on to that decoy hook, and it will be very, very similar. See? Exactly the same. And these decoy hooks are probably one of the thinnest wire hooks. And also, remember when I was talking about the distance between the eye and the first bend? So as you can see, this is decoy and this is BU, the cheap one. So if I will compare those distances, you will see that this cheap one, this one, has a couple mil longer distance between the eye and first bend. This will help to secure the lure on the hook much better. That's very, very nice touch. And then if we would compare the size of the eye, I would say maybe this BU has a little bit bigger eye, but they are very, very similar. I can't measure them very accurately anyways. And now when it comes to the finish, I'm not too sure if the camera is picking it up well, but this cheaper one is definitely less reflective, so it's not as shiny. I prefer, you know, coated hooks which are not as shiny or reflective. So, as I say, but those finishes are different. This decoy has kind of more black or darker finish, and this one has like brownish, like green brown, something like that. Again, I don't know if you can pick it up on camera because of the lights and all the reflections, but this cheap one is definitely better when it comes to reflections. And yeah, sharpness wise, as I say, this is right expensive decoy hook. I mean, yes, it digs into my nail, like a little bit, but it does not leave as pronounced, you know, mark. And then if I would grab this cheap one, BU, I mean, this one just grabs better, I feel. But again, sharpness is very, very subjective, you know, and it can change after every fish. So, but initial sharpness, I would say, is better on those cheap ones. So yeah, when you compare, you know, these two, which is this one, Decoy, is like a few times more expensive than these, you know, and these cheap ones do compare or beat those more expensive decoys from Japan, you know, the choice is easy. So yeah, if you will decide to grab a few bags of these lures yourself, check those links in the description below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.